Look at your life. The chaos in your finances, the weakness in your boundaries, the constant state of reacting to fires instead of commanding your forces. This is not a life. This is a kingdom in anarchy, a realm without a ruler. You have been waiting for someone to give you permission to rule, a boss, a mentor, a partner. You have been waiting for an external authority to come and bring order to your chaos. But the throne has been waiting for only one person, and that person is you. The feeling of being overwhelmed is the feeling of an empty throne. The feeling of powerlessness is the sound of your own abdication. What you are about to experience is not a lesson in leadership. It is a coronation. We are about to awaken the part of you that does not ask for authority, but embodies it. The part of you that does not hope for order, but creates it. The Emperor is returning from his long exile, and his first decree will be to end the chaos now. You have a vision, a grand design, a blueprint in your soul for a business, a legacy, an empire you wish to build. But look at your reality. The plans remain on paper. The foundations are crumbling. The kingdom is in chaos. You have the vision of a king, but you have been ruling with the hands of a peasant. The hidden voice in your head, the voice of the ineffective builder, tells you that you lack the resources, the luck, the connections. But the truth is, you lack the structure. You lack the divine, ordering principle that turns a dream into a dominion. You have the Sky Father's vision, the Zeus-like dream, but you have not yet activated his earthly counterpart, the one who brings the vision down from the mountain and builds it, stone by stone, in the world of men. The archetype of the Emperor, and it is time to build. If you are tired of watching your grand designs dissolve into dust, if you are ready to stop dreaming and to start building, then take a deep, grounding breath. We are not here to wish for an empire. We are here to lay its first foundation stone. Subscribe and join this council of builders, because the success you crave is not a matter of luck. It is a matter of structure. And you are about to become the architect of your own dominion. Part 1. Let us begin by walking through the ghost-filled landscape of your own potential. Let us, with the clear eyes of a master builder, survey the field of your unfinished cathedrals. Feel this truth in your body. Your mind is a graveyard of brilliant ideas. The business you are going to start, the book you are going to write, the investment you are going to make, the life you are going to build. See them now, in your mind's eye. They are like the magnificent half-finished skeletons of great cathedrals, their spires reaching for a sky they never touched, their foundations overgrown with the weeds of procrastination and self-doubt. Why? Why did they fail? The hidden voice, the voice of the failed foreman, has 1,000 excuses. I didn't have enough capital. The market wasn't right. I didn't have the right team. I got busy. Oh, these are the stories you tell yourself to soothe the profound ache of your own ineffectiveness. But the real reason is simpler and far more fundamental. You lacked the structure. You lacked the Emperor. The Emperor is the archetype of structure, order, and worldly authority. If Zeus is the sky god of vision, the Emperor is the earth god of execution. He is the one who takes the abstract, energetic blueprint from the king, Zeus, and translates it into a concrete, three-dimensional reality. He's the bridge between the vision and the form. Your life, without a strong, active emperor archetype, is a kingdom in a state of perpetual chaos. Look at your work or your business. Is it a well-ordered, efficient, and flourishing system? Or is it a constant state of putting out fires? You react to emails, you react to employee dramas, you react to client demands. You are the busiest person in your own empire, but you are not in control. You are a slave to the chaos. This is the sign of a weak emperor. The true emperor does not do all the work. He creates the system that does the work. Look at your projects. Do you move from a clear vision to a structured plan, to a disciplined execution? Or do you start with a burst of passion and then quickly get lost in the overwhelming details? your energy scattered, your focus lost. The emperor is the master of process. He knows how to break down a grand vision into a series of small, logical, and achievable steps. He is the master of the long game. The inability to finish what you start is a cardinal symptom of an unintegrated emperor. Look at your authority. When you walk into a room, does your presence command a natural respect? When you speak, do people listen? When you give a direction, is it followed? Or do you find yourself having to plead, to convince, to over-explain, to manage the emotions of others? The emperor's authority is not based on aggression or loud talking. It is based on a profound inner sense of groundedness and solidity. It is the unshakable energy of the mountain. People do not obey the emperor because they fear him. They obey him because his clarity, his stability, and his unwavering vision make them feel safe. They know he is in control. The feeling of being stuck in your life, of having a brilliant mind but a chaotic reality, of being a visionary who never actually builds anything, this is the pain of the unactivated emperor. You have the blueprint, but you have no foreman. You have the divine idea, but you have no earthly structure to contain it and bring it into form. The journey to activate the emperor is not about learning a new business strategy. It is not about reading another book on productivity. It is an inner work. It is the alchemical process of forging the qualities of structure, of discipline, of order, and of unwavering authority within the very core of your own being. It is the journey of becoming the solid ground upon which your own dreams can be built. Part 2. Who is this emperor that we are seeking to enthrone? We must look beyond the historical figures of Caesars and kings, which are often tainted with the shadow of tyranny. We must look to the pure, archetypal blueprint of the divine architect, the world builder. In the tarot, the emperor is the fourth card, the number of stability, of structure, of the material world. He sits on a stone throne, a symbol of his groundedness and his connection to the earth. In one hand, he holds a scepter, a symbol of his authority and his right to rule. In the other, he holds an orb, a symbol of the world, the kingdom that he is responsible for. He is not a dreamer, he is a ruler of the manifest realm. Let us understand his core attributes, for these are the powers you are here to integrate. First, the emperor is the master of structure. His mind is a geometer's mind. He sees the underlying order in all things. He thinks in systems, in processes, in foundations. When he is given a vision, he does not get lost in the passion of the idea. He immediately asks the foundational questions. What is the first stone that must be laid? What are the support beams that are required? What is the logical sequence of construction? He brings order to the chaos of creative energy. To activate the emperor is to develop the part of your mind that can create a clear, simple, and elegant plan out of the messy complexity of your own dreams. Second, the emperor is the embodiment of authority. His authority is not derived from his title or his crown. It is an energetic quality that radiates from his very being. It is the quality of sovereignty. He is the one who has mastered himself. He is not ruled by his fleeting emotions, by his fears, or by the opinions of others. He is centered in his own truth. His yes is a solid mountain. His no is an impassable wall. Because he is in complete command of his inner kingdom, he naturally commands the respect of the outer kingdom. To activate the emperor is to stop seeking validation and to become your own source of authority. Third, the emperor is the guardian of the realm. He is the ultimate protector. His primary function is to create a safe, stable, and predictable container in which life can flourish. He does this by setting and enforcing boundaries. He understands that a kingdom without clear borders will be invaded and plundered. He understands that a business without clear policies will descend into chaos. He is not afraid to be the bad guy in the service of protecting the integrity of his realm. His boundaries are not emotional reactions. They are conscious, strategic decisions made for the good of the whole. To activate the Emperor is to become a fierce and loving guardian of your own energy, your own time, and your own vision. Finally, the Emperor is the benevolent Father. This is his connection to the heart. In his highest expression, he is not a cold, distant ruler. He is the wise and generative Father King. He takes responsibility for the well-being of all his subjects. He creates systems not to control them, but to empower them. He builds an empire not for his own glory, but to create a legacy, a flourishing world that will outlast him. His power is in service to life. He is the earthly manifestation of the creative and ordering principle of the cosmos: structure, authority, boundaries, and responsibility. This is the fourfold foundation of the Emperor's throne. It is the blueprint for a consciousness that does not just dream of worlds, but builds them. This is the powerful, grounded, and world-changing energy that is waiting to be activated within you. Part 3. To claim the throne of the true Emperor, you must first face the two pretenders who have been usurping his power. These are the two shadows of the king archetype, and their names are the Tyrant and the Weakling. You contain both. And until they are made conscious, you will forever oscillate between their two forms of ineffective rule. Let us first face the Tyrant. This is the active, aggressive shadow of the Emperor. The Tyrant is obsessed with control. He is the micromanager, the bully, the dictator. He believes that his power comes from his ability to dominate others and to control every single detail of his kingdom. He trusts no one. He delegates nothing. He is deeply, profoundly insecure, and his need for control is a desperate attempt to manage his own inner chaos. In your business or your career, you see the Tyrant in your inability to let go, to trust your team. You have to have your hand in everything. You correct every minor mistake. You stifle the creativity of your subordinates because their ideas are a threat to your authority. You are the bottleneck in your own organization. You are the boss, but you are also the primary obstacle to the kingdom's growth. In your own mind, the Tyrant is the vicious inner critic who demands perfection. He sets impossible standards for you, and then he punishes you with brutal self-judgment when you fail to meet them. He is the one who tells you, you must work harder, you must never rest, you must sacrifice everything for the goal. He rules your inner world like a slave driver, and he is the source of your burnout. Now let us turn to the other, and perhaps more familiar, shadow, the Weakling. This is the passive, abdicated shadow of the Emperor. The Weakling is terrified of power. He is terrified of responsibility. He is the one who has left the throne empty. In your business, the Weakling is the one who cannot make a decision. He is the people-pleaser, the one who is so afraid of conflict that he cannot set a clear direction. His policies are vague. His boundaries are non-existent. His team has no respect for him because they can feel his lack of a solid core. His kingdom is in a state of chaos, not because of his cruelty, but because of his absence. He is the nice guy boss who everyone likes, but no one follows. In your own mind, the Weakling is the voice of procrastination, of helplessness, of victimhood. It is the voice that says, I don't know how. It's too hard. It's not my fault. The world is against me. He gives his power away to external circumstances, to other people, to his own limiting beliefs. He is the architect who has a beautiful blueprint, but is forever waiting for the right conditions to start building. He is the king who is waiting for someone else to come and save his kingdom for him. You are not one or the other. You are both. You likely oscillate between them. You spend weeks in the passive fog of the Weakling, letting things fall apart. And then, in a panic, you have a burst of Tyrant energy, trying to control everything with frantic, aggressive action, only to burn out and collapse back into the Weakling's despair. This is the cycle of the unintegrated Emperor. The journey of activation is the journey to find the still point, the golden mean between these two shadows. It is the journey to find the sovereign. The sovereign is not the tyrant, because he is not afraid. His power is so deep and so real that he has no need to prove it through domination. He can afford to be benevolent. The sovereign is not the weakling because he is not afraid. He accepts his power. He takes 100% responsibility for his kingdom. To become the emperor is to make these two shadows conscious. It is to see the tyrant and the weakling within you, not as your identity, but as old, conditioned programs. And from the quiet center of your own awareness, to choose again and again the third way, the way of the true and benevolent king. Part 4. The archetype of the emperor is not just a psychological concept, it is a cosmological one. It is the principle of order and structure that makes the manifest universe possible. In many ancient traditions, this ordering principle is represented by the number 4. The number 4 is the number of the earth, of the material world. We have 4 seasons, 4 cardinal directions, north, south, east, west, 4 classical elements, earth, air, fire, water. The 4 corners of a foundation. The number 4 represents stability, solidity, and the grounding of the divine into manifest form. The emperor is the master of the 4. He is the one who builds his throne upon these 4 pillars. Let us understand these 4 pillars, for they are the foundational energies you must cultivate to build your own empire. Pillar 1, the pillar of the north, earth and body. This is the pillar of groundedness. It is the emperor's connection to the physical, the practical, the tangible. The emperor is not a head-in-the-clouds visionary. His feet are planted firmly on the earth. He understands the laws of the material world. He understands money, resources, logistics. He honors his own body, seeing it as the foundation of his kingdom. He knows that if the vessel is weak, the power cannot flow. To activate this pillar is to get out of your head and into your body. It is to master the practical details of your life, your health, your finances, your physical environment, not as a chore, but as a sacred act of building a solid foundation. Pillar 2, the pillar of the East, air and intellect. This is the pillar of clarity. It is the emperor's connection to the world of thought, of intellect, of strategy. The emperor's mind is not the chaotic emotional mind of the unawakened. It is a mind that is like a sharp sword. It is the mind of the general, the strategist. It can see the big picture. It can create a clear, logical plan. It can communicate that plan with precision and authority. To activate this pillar is to train your mind to be a tool of clarity and order. It is to move from a state of mental fog to a state of sharp, decisive, strategic thought. Pillar 3, the pillar of the South, fire and will. This is the pillar of action. It is the emperor's connection to the fire of the will, to the energy of pure execution. The emperor is not just a planner, he is a doer. When a decision is made, he acts. He marshals his energy and he moves forward with a focused, disciplined, and relentless power. This is the energy of the warrior, but now in service to the king. It is not a reactive, angry fire. It is a controlled, focused, creative fire, the fire of a forge that takes the raw materials and shapes them according to the blueprint. To activate this pillar is to overcome procrastination and to connect with your own inner fire of disciplined, purposeful action. Pillar 4, the pillar of the West, water and heart. This is the pillar of the benevolent ruler. It is the emperor's connection to the world of water, of emotion, of the heart. This is the pillar that separates the sovereign from the tyrant. The tyrant has no connection to this pillar. He rules through dry logic and fiery will alone. The true emperor understands that his kingdom is a living organism, not a machine. He rules with compassion. He listens to the needs of his people, the parts of himself, and the people in his charge. He understands that true lasting power is built not on fear, but on love and respect. His authority is tempered with wisdom. His laws are infused with heart. To activate this pillar is to unite your power with your love, your authority with your compassion. Earth, air, fire, and water, body, mind, will, and heart. Groundedness, clarity, action, and compassion. These are the 4 pillars of your throne. A weakness in any one of these pillars will make your entire empire unstable. The emperor is the one who has mastered and balanced all 4. He is a whole, integrated being, and the work of his activation is the work of consciously building and strengthening each of these 4 pillars within yourself. Part 5. You have been coronated. You have surveyed your realm. You have identified the shadows. You have understood the 4 pillars upon which your throne must rest. Now, it is time for your first act as a sovereign ruler. It is time to issue your first decree. A kingdom without a clear, concise, and unwavering law will always descend into chaos. The law is the central organizing principle. It is the constitution of your realm. It is the ultimate statement of what is valued, what is permitted, and what is forbidden within your borders. For most of your life, you have been living under a set of laws that you did not write. The laws of your parents, the laws of your culture, the laws of your own fear. You have been a citizen in a foreign land, obeying a foreign code. The first act of the returned emperor is to tear up the old law book and to write his own. This is not a long and complex document. It is a simple, powerful, and overarching principle that will now govern every choice you make. It is your prime directive. It is your true north. This is the moment you stop being a subject of circumstance and you become the lawgiver of your own life. It is an act of profound self-creation. If you are ready to write and to ratify your own inner constitution, then I invite you to make this act a conscious one. Click the like button. Let it be the royal seal pressed into the warm wax of this present moment. A declaration that you are no longer governed by the chaotic laws of fear and conformity. You are now governed by the singular law of your own sovereign soul. Now, let us craft this decree. I invite you to close your eyes, ascend to your inner throne. Feel the weight of the crown on your head, the scepter in your hand. Look out over the kingdom of your life, and from this place of absolute authority and benevolent wisdom, I want you to complete this sentence. This is your first and only law. In my kingdom, we are governed by the principle of what is your word? What is the one single value that if you lived by it with unwavering integrity would bring your entire life into a state of flourishing order? Perhaps your word is clarity. In my kingdom, we are governed by the principle of clarity. This means that from now on, you will not tolerate confusion. You will not engage in passive aggression. You will speak your truth cleanly. You will make your decisions decisively. Perhaps your word is integrity. In my kingdom, we are governed by the principle of integrity. This means your actions will always be in alignment with your deepest values. You will not compromise your truth for comfort or for gain. Your word is your bond. Perhaps your word is beauty. In my kingdom, we are governed by the principle of beauty. This means that every choice you make, from the food you eat to the projects you work on to the way you speak to others, will be informed by a desire to create more beauty in the world. Perhaps your word is sovereignty, or freedom, or love, or growth. Do not choose the word you think you should choose. Become still, and listen for the word that your own soul provides. It is the foundational stone of your entire empire. Once you have your word, your law, you must write it down. Inscribe it on a piece of paper and place it where you will see it every day. This is your constitution. And now, your work as emperor is simplified. Whenever you are faced with a choice, a decision, a dilemma, you no longer have to consult the squabbling parliament of your fears and your doubts. You have only one question to ask. What is the choice that is in the highest alignment with the law of my kingdom? What is the choice that most embodies clarity, integrity, beauty? The answer will be immediate. It will be clear. It will be your thunderbolt. This is what it means to rule. It is to have a single, unwavering and self-chosen principle that brings order to the chaos of life's infinite choices. You have just issued your first decree. And the entire kingdom, which has been waiting for this moment of clarity, breathes a collective sigh of relief. The emperor is on the throne, and the law is now in effect. Part 6. An emperor's first duty, once the law has been established, is to secure the borders of his kingdom. An empire without strong, clear and well-defended boundaries is not an empire. It is a wasteland waiting to be plundered. For most of your life, you have lived in a borderless land. The armies of other people's needs, demands and emotions have marched across your territory at will, and you have not had the strength or the clarity to stop them. The activation of the emperor is the activation of the master boundary setter. Let us be clear, a boundary is not a wall. A wall is a structure of fear, designed to isolate you from the world. A boundary is a structure of respect. It is a conscious, clear and loving line that you draw in the sand. It is a declaration that says, "This is my sacred space, this is my kingdom, and I am its sovereign guardian. This is what is welcome here, and this is what is not." The emperor sets boundaries not from a place of emotional reactivity, but from a place of cool, strategic clarity. His boundaries are not punishments, they are policies. They are a part of the law of his kingdom. Let us practice building these walls of benevolent authority. Boundary 1. The boundary of your time. Your time is the most precious, non-renewable resource of your kingdom. For too long, you have allowed it to be stolen by the trivial, the urgent but not important, the demands of others. The emperor reclaims his calendar. He knows his mission, and he allocates his time with the precision of a master strategist. The practice is this: at the beginning of each week, sit down as the emperor. Look at your mission, your great work, and then you lay the big rocks into your schedule first. The time for your creative work, the time for your health, the time for your strategic thinking, the time for your family. And then, what is left over is available for the requests of the outer world. You no longer give away your prime real estate. You learn to say the most powerful and sovereign of sentences, "Thank you for the opportunity, but I do not have the bandwidth for that right now." Boundary 2. The boundary of your energy. You are an energetic being, and certain people, certain situations, certain environments are a profound drain on your field. They are toxic to your kingdom. The weak king tolerates this because he is afraid of offending anyone. The emperor, as the guardian of the realm, does not. The practice is to become a conscious student of your own energy. After every major interaction, pause and check in. Do I feel more energized or more depleted? Notice who and what consistently drains your life force. And then you must have the courage to set a boundary. This does not have to be a dramatic confrontation. It can be a quiet, strategic withdrawal. You spend less time with the draining friend. You no longer engage in the political arguments. You say no to the social event that you know will exhaust you. You are not being selfish. You are being a responsible ruler, protecting the energy supply of your kingdom. Boundary 3, the boundary of your yes and no. The emperor's word is law. His yes is a binding contract. His no is an immovable mountain. He does not say yes out of guilt or obligation. He says yes only when it is in full, joyful alignment with the law of his kingdom. The practice is to introduce a sacred pause. When someone makes a request of you, you do not give an immediate answer. You say, "Let me consider that, and I will get back to you." And then you take the request to your inner throne room. You ask the sovereign question, is saying yes to this in the highest alignment with the law of my kingdom? And you listen for the clean, clear answer from your gut, from your heart, and then you deliver that answer calmly, clearly, and without apology. To set a boundary is an act of power, and it will be met with resistance. The people who have benefited from your lack of boundaries will not be happy. They will call you selfish. They will try to guilt-trip you. This is the test. The weak king will crumble in the face of this resistance, but the true emperor will stand firm. He will hold the boundary, not with anger, but with a quiet, loving, and unshakable resolve. Because he knows that he is not just defending himself, he is defending the very integrity of his sacred kingdom. Part 7. The emperor rules his kingdom not just through his decrees and his boundaries, but through his gaze, his attention. For in the quantum conscious universe, where you place your focused attention is where your creative power flows. Attention is the currency of creation. The weak king has a scattered gaze. His attention is constantly being pulled in 1,000 different directions. He is distracted by every passing drama, every shiny object, every new fear. His creative energy is dissipated, like a beam of light passed through a shattered prism. It has no power to create anything. The emperor has a focused, penetrating, and unwavering gaze. He has a gaze that can hold a single vision, a single intention, with the focused intensity of a laser. And that laser-like attention has the power to cut through obstacles, to organize chaos, and to literally bend reality to its will. This is the power of a magnificent obsession. The emperor is not a dabbler, he is a master. He chooses one great central aim for his kingdom, his great work, and he devotes the full, undivided power of his life force to its manifestation. Let us cultivate this gaze now. I invite you to close your eyes and return to the purpose you identified earlier, your word, your mission, the one great thing you are here to build. Let's say your word is beauty. Now, I want you to practice seeing the world through the emperor's gaze, through the lens of this single-minded purpose. Imagine yourself walking through your day, but you are no longer just reacting to events. You are on a mission, a scavenger hunt. Your mission is to find and create beauty. You look at your desk, and instead of seeing a mess, you ask, how can I bring the energy of beauty here? And you take 2 minutes to arrange the objects with a sense of harmony. You are about to send an email. Instead of just typing the words, you ask, how can I write this with the energy of beauty? How can I make my communication clear, elegant, and harmonious? You are preparing a meal. You ask, how can I infuse this act with the energy of beauty? And you arrange the food on the plate with care. You eat slowly, savoring the colors and the flavors. This is a profound shift. You are no longer just moving through a series of tasks. You are imbuing every single moment of your life with the energy of your central purpose. You are turning your entire life into a ritual, an act of devotion to your chosen law. This focused attention is magnetic. As you consistently focus on finding and creating beauty, the universe begins to respond. You start to notice more beauty everywhere. The world becomes a more beautiful place, because that is the frequency you are tuned to. And opportunities to create beauty on a larger scale begin to flow to you as if by magic. This is the gaze of the emperor. It is the power of a consciousness that is no longer scattered and distracted, but has been unified and focused into a single, powerful, creative beam. What is the one thing you will choose to place your magnificent, obsessive, and world-building gaze upon? What is the one cathedral you will choose to build with the focused light of your own attention? Choose it now. And then, refuse to be distracted until it is done. Part 8. The weight of the crown. The loneliness of sovereignty. As you begin to walk this path, as you enthrone your inner emperor and begin to live as a sovereign being, there is a necessary and often painful experience that you must be prepared for. It is the experience of loneliness. The emperor, on his throne, on his mountaintop, is a solitary figure. This is not the desperate loneliness of the victim who feels separate and powerless. It is the profound, dignified, and sometimes aching loneliness of the sovereign. It is the loneliness of the one who sees a bigger picture than those around them. The loneliness of the one who is playing a different game. As you begin to operate from a place of radical responsibility, you will find that you can no longer participate in the most common of human bonding rituals, the ritual of blame and complaint. The conversations at work around the dinner table that revolve around complaining about the government, the boss, the weather, you will no longer be able to engage in them with any authenticity. You know, on a cellular level, that you are the creator of your own reality, and the act of blaming is a profound abdication of your own power, and so you will fall silent. And in your silence, others may feel uncomfortable. They will sense that you are no longer one of them. As you begin to operate from a place of clear purpose and disciplined action, you will find that you have less and less in common with those who are content to drift through life, whose primary values are comfort and distraction. Your magnificent obsession with your great work will seem strange to them. Your discipline will seem rigid. Your refusal to be distracted by the latest drama will seem cold. You are speaking a different language. You are living in a different world. This can be a painful period of shedding. Old friends may fall away. Family members may not understand the new, powerful and boundaried you. You may, for a time, feel like an exile, a king without a court. This is a crucial test of your resolve. The hidden voice of the weakling, the part of you that is still addicted to conformity, will scream, "See, this is too hard, it's not worth it. Go back, apologize, soften your boundaries, rejoin the herd, it's warmer there." And in this moment you, the emperor, must remember the view from your mountain. You must remember that you are not choosing loneliness. You are choosing solitude. And there is a profound difference. Loneliness is the pain of being alone. Solitude is the power of being alone. You must be willing to endure this period of solitude, this sacred emptiness, because it is in this space that you are crystallizing your own sovereign identity, free from the reflections of others. You are learning to be your own source of validation, your own counsel, your own companion. And if you can hold this solitude with courage and with grace, a new kind of companionship will begin to emerge. You will begin to attract your true court, not the court of your codependents, but the court of your peers, other sovereigns, other kings and queens who are also ruling their own kingdoms. And your relationship with them will not be based on a shared weakness, but on a shared strength, a shared vision, a mutual and profound respect. You must be willing to be alone, to earn the right to true and sovereign companionship. This is the weight of the crown, and it is a weight that only a true emperor can bear. Part 9. We have built the emperor on the 4 pillars of the earth. We have forged his sword of clarity, built his walls of boundaries, and focused his gaze of purpose. He is a magnificent, powerful and structural archetype, but if we stop here, we are left with a kingdom that is ordered, but potentially sterile, powerful, but potentially rigid. The final act of mastery for the emperor is not to build higher walls, but to open the gates. It is the integration of his own feminine counterpart, the empress. The empress is the archetype of the creative life force itself. She is nature, she is abundance, she is sensuality, she is flow. She is the fertile green valley that lies at the foot of the emperor's stony mountain. The emperor archetype, on its own, can become a tyrant. He can become obsessed with structure, with control, with the plan. He can become rigid, unfeeling, and disconnected from the living, breathing reality of his kingdom. He can build a perfect, logical, and completely lifeless machine. The empress is the one who brings the juice. She brings the chaos of creativity, the unpredictability of emotion, the wisdom of the body. She is the one who reminds the emperor that the purpose of the structure is not the structure itself. The purpose of the structure is to create a safe and fertile container for life to flourish, in all its messy, beautiful, and unpredictable glory. The ultimate act of the sovereign is the sacred marriage of the emperor and the empress within your own being. It is the union of structure and flow. You have the emperor's clear, strategic plan. But you also have the empress's intuitive flexibility, the ability to adapt, to pivot, to flow with the unexpected currents of the moment. You have a destination, but you are not rigidly attached to the exact path. You have the emperor's strong, clear boundaries, but you also have the empress's open, compassionate heart. You can protect your kingdom, but you are not a closed system. You know when to open the gates, when to be receptive, when to allow new life and new ideas to enter. You have the emperor's disciplined, focused will, but you also have the empress's ability to surrender, to rest, to receive. You know when to act, the emperor, and you know when to be still and allow the seeds you have planted to gestate in the dark, fertile soil of the unknown, the empress. This is the divine dance of creation, the perfect balance of the masculine and the feminine, the doing and the being, the building and the growing. The man who has only activated his inner emperor is a powerful but brittle CEO. The man who has integrated his empress is a wise and beloved king, whose kingdom is not just productive, but joyful. The woman who has only activated her inner emperor may become a successful but burned-out boss lady. The woman who unites him with her native empress energy is a true queen, whose power is both structured and flowing, both commanding and magnetic. This is the path to true, sustainable success. A success that is not just measured in bank accounts and achievements, but in the felt sense of vitality, of creativity, of joy, and of flow. It is the success of a kingdom that is not just well managed, but is a truly beautiful and wonderful place to live. Part 10. And so we arrive at the throne room, at the heart of the empire, for the final and most profound revelation. We began this journey by looking at the chaos of our outer world, our finances, our careers, our relationships, and we set out on a quest to enthrone the inner emperor who could bring order to this outer kingdom. We have learned to build the structures, to set the boundaries, to wield the power of a sovereign ruler, but the final epiphany, the one that collapses the entire distinction between the inner and the outer, is this. There is no outer kingdom. The entire empire is within you. The business you have been trying to build is not a separate entity in the world. It is a projection of the organizational structure of your own mind. The team you have been trying to lead is not a collection of other people. It is a projection of the various, often conflicting parts of your own psyche. The money you have been trying to control is not a resource in the world. It is a reflection of the flow of your own creative life force energy. The great work of the emperor is not to control the world. It is to achieve such a state of profound, unshakable and benevolent order within your own being that the world of form has no choice but to mirror it. You do not build an empire. You become the empire. You become the state of unshakable inner authority, and the world reflects this back to you as the respect of others. You become the state of profound inner order and clarity, and the world reflects this back to you as a flourishing, efficient business. You become the state of benevolent self-responsibility, and the world reflects this back to you as loyal allies and a supportive community. The entire journey has been an internal one. The emperor is not the one who conquers the world. The emperor is the one who has so completely conquered himself, who has so perfectly ordered his own inner kingdom, that the outer world simply, effortlessly and gracefully bows to his authority, not because it is forced to, but because it recognizes its master, it recognizes itself, and in this final knowing, the great and heavy burden of building and controlling is lifted. You are no longer the stressed-out foreman, trying to manage 1,000 unruly workers. You are the architect who has drawn such a perfect, harmonious and beautiful blueprint, the blueprint of your own integrated soul, that the building seems to build itself. You are not the emperor on the throne. You are the silent, ordered and powerful field of consciousness in which the emperor, the throne, and the entire kingdom appear. You are the law. You are the structure. You are the divine, ordering principle of your own universe. And your very being is the only empire you will ever need to build. The blueprint is complete. The foundation is laid. The emperor is on the throne, and the throne is your own heart. If this journey has helped you to remember the architect of your own dominion, subscribe and continue to walk this path of sovereign creation with us. The chaos is over. Your reign has begun.